I see so many people trying to color match inside of HueForge, and yes, color match is kind of like the pinnacle that everyone is trying to get to, and I get it. Color matching is awesome, but I just need people to understand that you can get incredible results inside of standard mode. Like, standard mode is not a lesser mode than color match mode. In fact, I think you can get really incredible blending inside of standard mode that is much more difficult to achieve inside of color match mode. And so today we are going to take a look at an image, and we're going to naturally believe that we need to color match it, but we're going to try a couple different ways of creating this inside of standard mode that I think will look pretty awesome. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, I have exiled myself to the bottom corner so that you can see what we are working here with. This is a character named Graves. This is from the video game Deadlock. I've been on the Deadlock grind recently. It's a blast, but I really like this image, and this would be a relatively easy color match. And so we could dive right into color match. In fact, I already have, and I printed it. It looks awesome. But instead of color matching this today, I actually wanted to give standard mode a try because I think we can achieve some really cool effects inside of standard mode that we actually couldn't get quite as easily inside of color match mode. Now, a couple things that I want us to take into consideration when we're doing this inside of standard mode, and that is letting go of your expectations. Your expectation is to color match this image right here, and I get it. Like, that is, it makes sense to want to color match this because it would look awesome as a color match. But what I want you to do is embrace some creative spirit. And as we dive into this, let's really take a peek at what standard mode can really create, because I think we could get some really cool effects. In fact, I know I can because I have practiced around with this image. So the first thing that we are really going to want to do is press the middle scroll wheel. Now, the middle scroll wheel is going to give us this luminance data. Now, the luminance data is a really important metric for us because it's going to tell us how standard mode is going to blend our image together. Now, if you need a full tutorial on this, I'm going to link it up in the corner for you because you should dive into the beginner's tutorial for standard mode, because when we begin embracing some creative license, we're going to be putting a lot of our basic fundamental skills to work here. And so if you are like, Victor, what are you talking about? Luminance data? What? That sounds crazy. Go check out that tutorial and then come back when you're done. Awesome. So the first thing that I'm naturally going to want to do is I want to pick a main color. The main color is really going to be the basis that I'm blending for this image. And I think for me, at least in this image, I'm going to want to blend green. Now, we could keep it really basic, right? And put like green up here, come back and grab blue-gray. You guys know I love myself some blue-gray. We could maybe like do something like this. So we have some more maybe gray in the sky. We could come up here. Now you're noticing, okay, notice this background, how it's all kind of splotchy and doesn't look very good. I covered this in my most recent spot fix tutorial, but one simple trick is to just change the brightness for the image so that we get not splotchy background. And then we're just going to come in here and you're going to click all of these different regions. And I really don't need to put this on display for this video, but I'm already 90% of the way through. So we're going to, okay. And then I'm going to click flat on both of these. We're going to bring our brightness back up to where we were at. I clearly forgot to snag a section. I'm going to click that, and that's, click flat. And we're going to raise these up by like 1 there. Bring our brightness back. And now all of a sudden that splotchiness gone, done for, never existed, ugly, and it has disappeared. Now you would obviously want to do that for all the spots, but a quick little tip for you. Now, for the sake of this, we're going to delete those. Okay, free tip. I'm going to bring gray up one more, and now we have the green kind of section there. That looks really good. I'm actually not, I don't hate that. Now, I want more depth to the image, and anytime we're thinking depth, I always run to Bamboo Lag Basic Beige. Is a really good color, and it adds a lot of depth to images that otherwise would seem pretty flat. It actually does a really good job here. You can see that we get a lot of that like hair texture and even skin tone when we add the beige right there. And we could play around with different beiges if we really wanted to. Like, this is another pretty good one where we get that depth in the hair, but we still retain like a pretty good skin tone there on her face. And the skull gets, you know, a really cool look as well. And we could play around with the green slider a little bit to make it more or less green, something like that. Now, this is not the original image, okay? We come over here and we look at this image and we're like, Victor, that's nowhere near what we were going for. But I have to be honest, I really like kind of the creativity that exists in this image over here. In fact, I think I kind of like it maybe more than my color matched image. Now, it's very different. If you're not open to artistic, creativity in this way, I get it. Don't do this, but I really like it. Let's play around with it again, but instead of using different tones, let's play with the same tone. So that means we're gonna play around with greens. We're gonna grab Bamboo Lab Basic Green and kind of throw it on the bottom here. And now we have, it's kind of taken the place of that blue-gray that we had. And because it's so dark, it does a really good job at just eating up the shadows. It does a good job in the sky. In fact, it does a really good job in the sky, as well as giving us some of the green tones in the flames of the skull. Then I'm gonna grab this apple green, which I have been loving recently. This apple green is a little elusive because it almost has a beige tone to it, not completely. We could do something like that and put it there. I might even play around with like a bone white right on top. Maybe something like this. Ooh, that looks really good. That looks really good. And you can see that stacking the bone white right on top of the green did something really interesting right here, right? Because we have the skull that is actually kind of accurate to the skull color, but because of the way the luminance is working here on this image, we still retain a lot of the green that we have in the flames of the skull there. And I know Polymaker has a really bright neon green, so we can come through here and see if it's in HueForge. I'm actually not sure if their neon green is. Doesn't look like it, but let's grab one of their other greens. Maybe this Polylite Pro green. No, it's a little too dark. We need more of like a neon-ish green. Let's try maybe this one. Bring that down. Boom. Okay, that's not too bad. And again, this is why we test. This is why we test things and we try things out. And you can see if I bring that bone white up again, we get more accurate skin tones. It still has a green hue to it, but it's not game breaking. It's not the end of the world. We could also like bring that green down ever so slightly, so we get another one of those tones. Then we could bring back in our apple green up here right above that. Something like that maybe. That way we're still getting the skin tones. We still get the skull delineation there. I don't mind that. We could also try and just find a good old neon green here. Coax neon green here. Let's toss that up there. Boom, that looks really good. We can maybe take that off, and now we have that like really bright neon green. Maybe even we bring our blend depth up a little bit so that we're not eating up. Bring that up ever so slightly. And now we have like that really bright, like in your face neon green. We could even come back to that other beige from Polylite and replace it there. Maybe. And again, this is why we test. This is why we play around with things and test them out. So maybe we don't use the Polylite beige. Maybe we use the Bamboo Lab Basic beige here. And maybe that even means coming in here and playing around with our brightness a little bit. Something like that at like a 0.01. Now we have this like really cool green, blending from dark green up to light green with a nice beige white at the top. You could do the same exact thing with the red. You'd start with maybe some more matte dark reds and then build up into like some magentas almost. And you could get some really good differentiation there. Let's actually try that. And really, the purpose of this video is not for you to be able to copy along with me in what I'm doing, but really the purpose of this video is to hopefully give you some inspiration to go try standard mode out. I just realized so many people do not use standard mode for some reason, when it is one of my favorite modes out there. Like, it is a really fun mode. All right. This is like a translucent red, so it's going to be really dark, because the black is basically just shining through. But I do like how dark that is. We have like this basic red. That's a filament that I brought in and made. We try this Jessie Premium Ice. It's gonna be more matte, so we get like a flatter finish there on the coat. Then we could bring in, ours. And honestly, this would look really good with a blue-gray. Grays and reds typically work really well together. You could bring in like the blue-gray there, and then really bring up our matte red and kind of finish with this like very bright red there. Maybe something like that. I'm not in love with that red. Play around with something like that. You can even bring up your black again if you want to try and make parts of this red, like now this red here is very dark. But we still get very bright red here on portions of her coat. So there's really unique things that you can do just to play around inside standard mode. And I like all of these. I think all of these are print worthy, especially if you're wanting to do like a 4-panel design. You can use my frame system. I'll link that down in the description below. And you could do 1 red, 1 green, 1 color match, and then 1 monochrome and have that design up on your wall. There's some really unique things. Or if you wanted to create a bookmark set of the same design, but in 4 different styles, you can develop different palettes and really just leverage those inside of standard mode to create some really unique prints that otherwise you'd be stuck inside of color match trying to get perfect and struggling with. Hopefully this video gave you a little bit of inspiration. I know it did me. I'm going to go back through a lot of my color match projects and try them in standard mode and maybe even print them out and see the type of effect that I'm able to get inside of standard mode. Standard mode is one of those really unique modes that takes full advantage of blending colors together. And that's really what HueForge is. At the end of the day, HueForge, in its most perfect and prime kind of way, is standard mode. You're blending colors together to create new and unique colors and designs and looks that otherwise would have been impossible by just throwing a filament on there and matching it perfectly. So, have you had any fun luck inside of standard mode? Let me know down in the comments below. And hey, if you are looking from going from complete beginner all the way up to HueForge Pro, you should check out my Patreon. We have a full 10-module course that will take you from beginner to pro in the matter of about 6 months. You'll have one-on-one classes with me, a full once-a-month course where we get together with everyone on Discord and talk through what HueForge is and how you can best use it and work through your projects. And then you have homework, quizzes, projects, practice images. I mean, it's a full thought-out thing, so go check it out. The link for that will be down in the description below. And a huge shout-out to all my Patreon members, all my YouTube members. You guys make it possible for me to do what I absolutely love, so thank you. Until next time, you guys, I will catch y'all in the next one. You know what I mean. You get it. Take care.